transfer portal for LSU, and this is that's tough news, man. And I will say this on the way out, and I'm not piling on or trying to pile on, but the damage that Ed Ogeron and Derek Panamsky have done to the roster over the last couple of seasons is NCAA sanctions in itself. When you look at LSU's sideline, when you look at the amount of 5 stars that have left the program, when you look at just the amount of players that have left the program and that are no longer within the system, within the depth chart, within the program, and it is like, I'm not saying this as a smartass. It's almost it's almost like, wow. How in the hell did you screw it up this bad? How did you take a roster that had so much talent and so much depth at certain positions and just, clear the place out? Throw grenades into certain position rooms and just get people fleeing out the door. The 4 or 5-star guys, the Marcel Brooks, the Eli Ricks, the guys that have left the program during that time span that you don't just need, that would be high-end starters for you right now, is mesmerizing to see how Ogeron and crew have flubbed this. It is equivalent to an NCAA sanction. Tiger football program may be staring down the barrel of NCAA sanctions coming their way after the investigation of what's going on. All they need to do is self-report what the roster looks like at the end of the 2021 season, and Emmert and crew should be like, God, dog.
Haven't they been through enough?
What the hell have y'all been doing down here? Did y'all run who didn't you run off? It is just... When you saw the news of Ricks come across the wire today, just boom, punch you in the face. Another 5-star out. And we tried to get Eli Ricks on, and Ricks gave us a comment and gave us a quote, and we can go to press with it. He said the only reason why he's leaving is because Ed Ogeron is out. He texted that to us twice. It was a little peculiar to hear that Ed Ogeron said that he had not talked to Eli Ricks about his decision to put his name into the transfer portal, but from Ricks' standpoint, he says his decision is based on Ed Ogeron and the relationship he's got with the head coach and him not coming back, which you had to figure there was going to be a few of these.
And true or not, you have to take him at, you have to
absolutely.
You take him for his word
100%,
for sure.
100%. I wonder if the next coach will have an opportunity to pitch to Eli to see where he stands and see if he can't be brought back into the program, because this is a devastating blow, people. This is potentially the best player on next year's team deciding to leave. Talk about a tough recruiting pitch to the next coach saying, I had to imagine that Scott Woodward, on whoever he was selling to this program, was pitching Eli Ricks.
At 7.
Or just as your best defensive player.
That's what I'm saying. He was a game changer.
And for him to be in the portal right now, it sucks.
Well, you can take yourself out the portal. I don't think he's going to.
You can.
But maybe this guy comes in, re-recruits him, he comes back out.
See, you said it was like a gut punch, but was it shocking to you? Because I saw the news and I wasn't surprised.
I wasn't, but I thought that this...
Just because of how it's gone, it's like...
I kind of almost thought that, this ship had sailed. There was so much smoke around Ricks last summer. I thought that they were going to lose him last summer for sure.
Yeah.
I thought as much as we were hearing, the stuff around Ohio State and the stuff around LSU just kind of doing everything they could to make him happy and make sure that he knew where they stood and vice versa, that they were going to lose him. I really did. I thought that they were going to lose him. So when they got to the season... And, it looked like he was kind of re-energized and he was bought in, and it was going to be Ricks and Stingley, and they were playing well together, and they were going to have a pretty good run at this year. I thought he was going to be locked in, because at this point you were kind of playing against the math.
Wow.
You got 2 years in the program. You got one more year where you potentially could be the first cornerback taken out of the draft. why? Why go play for a new coach? Corey Raymond's probably the best DB coach in the country. And, see what happens, see who they bring in next. But he makes the decision. And this year, in this day and age of a college athlete, it's much more easy to make that decision where you're immediately eligible on one
Right.
choice. I mean, he could line up and go play for Bama next year. He could line up and go play for Texas A&M. He could line up and go play for Billy Napier at Florida next year, allegedly, if he takes the job.
Or Lincoln Riley at
I mean,
LSU.
but my gut tells me he'd be at Ohio State.
Yeah, because that's where the most smoke was. And I don't know, like, it felt unfounded to me, but it did feel like it could happen. But if you're LSU, isn't this the thing that you've been trying to avoid for almost the last 6 years, 7 years, where you lose? He bridges the gap. He's the reason you're DBU. You have the guy that is the guy. Like Tre'Davious White did that for LSU.
Right.
There's always the up-and-comer, so it helps take pressure off the next corner coming up.
I mean, could that be Cordell Flott?
Right, and yeah, that's what you would hope. But no, if you have Eli Ricks and Cordell Flott, it's the perfect scenario.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
you have Ricks, who
Yeah.
is a lockdown top 10 corner, and then you let Cordell Flott get tested, he gets picks, then he moves into the number one corner role. Then it's Dwight McLaughlin. Like, that's the way it's supposed to work for LSU football, and the way they've been able to do it for the last, I would say, almost 10 years. And
Here's
now
my thing.
this is the first one to leave early.